What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 2nd Street Marvel. It's New Comic Book Day, and today we are going to be going over some new comic book reviews for you all this week. It's 420. We are here celebrating on the channel. Hope you're all having a very good day today. Make sure that you smash that like button, share this stream out with your friends, tell them to come hang out with us here on the channel. Now, in case you guys don't already know, our channel members, the Myrtle Maniacs, the awesome people you can see down in the chat with the little badges next to their names, one of the things those people do is they support our channel with their hard working money, with the money that they worked hard for. And one of the things we do with that is we go out and we crowdfund some different crowdfunded comic books out there. One of the latest books that we backed was this right here. This is Lady Death, Sacrificial Annihilation. This is chapter 14 of the Coffin Comics Lady Death universe, if you will. And this is the premiere edition, signed by the creator. I'll see if you can see that here. By the creator there, Brian Pulido himself, right there. And we are giving a copy of this away, giving this exact copy away to one of our channel members. We do these giveaways every couple of months, just as kind of a thank you to all of our channel members. So if you want to get entered into that, make sure you check out the link down in the description where you can go and check out the channel memberships. Thank you all so much once again to all of the Myrtle Maniacs out there. We will be going through some comic book reviews. It's 420. We're gonna have a good time, and you know what? I've got some Caucasians. We've got some Caucasians here. We're talking about Lady Death. She's got white skin. We've probably got a little too much white in this video for comics Twitter. We might get canceled, folks. So make sure you share this out with your friends. Hit the thumbs up button. Tell them to come hang out here in what might be our last stream ever. Thank you all so much for being here today. Let's get this thing mixed up there, right? This thing all nice and, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That hit the spot. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, you see that? See the shirt? Yeah. This is actually from a city in California called Weeds, but then on the back you can see, you probably can't see, but I actually got this shirt signed by, well, I think nearly all of the Cottonmouth Kings, Saint Dog, and even his brother Big Hoss. Rest in peace, Big Hoss and Saint Dog both. I'm pretty sure they're both deceased now. Hey, Pakalika, man, he bit the dust a while back too, man. Shoot, it's been a while, man. I ain't listened to a Cottonmouth Kings album in a while. We'll start right off today with Aftershock Comics. Today we have got We Live, Age of the Paladins, issue number 2. This book being written and created and written in art as well by Roy and Inaki Miranda. It's got colors by Ava Dela Cruz and it is lettered by Dave Sharp. I will show you those names right there where you can take a look at that. Oh, wow. Wrong page. There we go. I'll tell you, you can take a look at those names right there. Well, they got a little biography there. You're gonna have to hit pause if you want to read about them. This book has been very good. It is the second story arc of We Live, which kicked off last year. This really great series in which Roy and Inaki Miranda, they've got some great art in here. Great colors here by Ava Dela Cruz. But not only that, the story is telling, it's so full of hope, yet you feel hopeless as you watch Tala and Hototo as they were going to this little town to send her brother Hototo off into the space where these aliens were gonna save them, but, well, that's not what ended up happening. They were child traffickers. So we've seen everything that kind of went down there. The Paladins came in and they saved everybody. They saved the day. And here we see, we flash to a couple years later and things are going down. And in this issue number 2, we're following Humbo a little bit more. We kind of have a little bit of fun with him, see where he's at and exactly what he is doing here with all of the, just kind of his involvement in the world of things that are going on. And sorry about this, folks. I gotta adjust my microphone there. But we see just kind of all these things. And again, we are getting some more drama here. We are getting some more of that hopelessness. I'm telling you, I feel that in this story. Like, I feel such hope. But yet I also feel like I got my hopes up for maybe no reason. I feel like at the end of this story is going to be just pain and sorrow. I could be wrong. Altogether, I've really enjoyed We Live, Age of the Paladins. This series so far, I really enjoyed the first series, but let me know down in the comments below if you have read We Live and what you think about it. Moving on into the next book here is a book I didn't actually get a chance to read. This is Horror Comics issue number 9, Jabberwock. I haven't really read any of these series. I've seen the art in them, and I kind of read some of the pages of like issue number 2, and I was like, oh, or issue number 3. And I was like, okay, and I got issue number 2, and I can't find issue number 1. So I just haven't caught up on it. But I think at this point, like, it's a series that like you don't have to read every single one. But so I haven't read this one to review it. Let me know down in the comments below if you've been reading horror comics and what you think about it, and if I need to be reading this book. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will move here into the next book on Antarctic Press. This is Patriotica United, issue number 3. This is the finale of this series right here. Now, I've got the regular variant here, and then we've also got this Virgin variant by Shikari, who has also done some of the variant covers that we have got from like the folks over at Merc Magazine. I haven't got a chance to read Patriotica, but let me know down in the comments below if you have what you think about it and why I need to put this book at the top of my need to be read list. I'm gonna take a nice little drink of this thing right here. Moving on into the next book I've got here. This is on AWA Upshot. You guys know I absolutely love AWA Upshot and what they have been doing over there these past couple of years. They have been putting out some great books, and today we have got Primos issue number 3. This is issue number 3 out of a 4-issue series. This is the A cover. This is the B cover. This series is written by Al Madrigal, and it's created as well with his co-creator Felipe Flores. Carlo Barberi is the artist, Brian Reber is the colorist, and World Design is the letterer. Dave Johnson is the cover artist. Lee Lowridge is the variant cover artist, as well as Carlo Barberi is the color artist or the artist of the variant cover as well. Now, this series right here, we finally find out that the hero we've been following here is actually 16 years old. We're sitting here going through like, and I had this kind of feeling when we got into the story. I'm like, how old is this kid? Like, he's doing some stuff that like, he's probably, and then I'm like, well, kinda, I almost feel like this kid is a 16-year-old and a lot of the things that are going on in his life were kind of normal. And for a 16-year-old's life in kind of where he's at, because just, I don't know, I feel for some reason, I really enjoyed this book. I feel that kind of what they're, the Hispanic culture that they're bringing to the table in this book. I like the art in this book, and like the series only has 1 issue left, and I feel like they've got a whole lot of ground to cover in just that little bit of time. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but AWA Upshot has managed to find a way to put out several series that are only 4-issue series that are absolutely great. And many times I've thought, like, how are they going to do this within this next issue? And they do it every single time. You can see a little bit of the art here in this book. Altogether, I've been enjoying it, watching this this kind of family that didn't know they were family coming together to put a stop to these ancient Aztec, like,
I'm an Aztec warrior. Ah!
It was like a Cain and Abel kind of thing as well. Like Cain and Abel, right? Like, sure, like, you're religious, right? You're religious, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that. But kind of not either. Very interesting stuff here. Just some fun stuff, and I'm really wondering how they're going to tie this up in this next issue. But I guess we'll see. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read Primos and what you think about it. And I will move on into this next book, which is Knighted, issue number 5. They have 2 covers for this right here as well. This book being written by Greg Hurwitz. It's got art by Mark Texvenger, colored by Lee Lowridge, and letters by And World Design. I will attempt to show you those names right there as good as I can. They're written in there really small. Let me zoom in. And you can see some of the art here in this book as well. It really has like the colors and everything, and even the art style. To me, it feels like it kind of has a postmodern feel to it. Like it feels very drab too in the colors and everything. This book is very kind of playing on Batman and even like the characterization of maybe like Peter Parker. And that's something the writer here kind of talked about in the first issue, in like the little thing, the notes he put back there, and you kind of see all that. And where we see this reluctant guy taking over this mantle that is kind of like Batman. He's taking on this suit and he becomes a hero, and just things weren't going well in his life, and he mans up a little bit by the end of this series. He's ready to move on. Altogether, the series itself has been okay. I think the biggest thing I don't like about this book is something that I really don't like in a lot of things these days, and that's this, how would you say, post The Office, sitcom, TV comedy stuff they do with like the kind of like they're trying, it's when sarcasm became a personality, right? When it became a personality, no, like you can. It's just, I don't. It's one of the things about this series I don't like, but I see that in a lot of series that come out that I don't really like that about either. It's just kind of something out there. Like I said, just some of that kind of comedy, it really doesn't do it for me, and it's some of that is in here. For me, it kind of takes away from what's going on in this book, but that's just if you ask me. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read Knighted and what you think about it. I'll go on to this last book that I have on AWA Upshot, one I really did enjoy, and that's Crimson Cage, issue number 5, the series finale, written by John Lees. It's got art by Alex Cormack, colors by Ashley Cormack, lettered by Hassan Atsmani El How, and I'm telling you, this series is absolutely great. I'm not really big into wrestling, but this is really kind of following like the 80s wrestling, and you can kind of see some of the the characters here and how they feel very much like a lot of the characters that you probably knew, the wrestlers that you knew growing up as a kid through the 80s, or maybe you were an adult through the 80s. I don't know. Some of you might have been. But we're mixing kind of that kind of a star that is out there looking to go places and ends up kind of crossing paths with these witches, and I guess it's kind of pulling a little bit on Macbeth. Is one of the things the writer said in here as well, and it's absolutely great. Getting into this story and seeing what this guy will go through to become the the champion of the GWA, and the lengths he has gone to, and the people he's hurt, and just all of the different things that have kind of happened throughout this whole series has been absolutely great. This series, again, John Lees is one of my favorite writers doing horror books right now, and by the time you team him up with Alex Cormack and Ashley Cormack, makes for some really great comic books. This is a definite read if you're into horror comic books, and definitely wrestling. This is a must read, one of my favorite series that is now concluded on AWA Upshot. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read Crimson Cage and what you think about it. This next book is on Image Comics. Now this is one I didn't really originally plan on getting, and I ended up picking up anyway. But this is The Secret History of the War on Weed. Now this book was going for the steep price of $4.99. It is written by Jerry Dugan and Brian Posehn. Artist is Scott Koblish. Colorist is Hi-Fi. Letterer is Clayton Cowles. I'll show you those names right there. You can take a look at those. And you can see a little bit of the art there. And in the very beginning of this story, the very beginning, they let you know right off the bat. It says the drug war was a racist prohibitionary catastrophe, and that's just like our opinion. That's not just like our opinion. That's the truth. But pretty much everything following this page is made up. So you go on in here and it talks about, you know, the America's war on drugs and the war on weed. And they got this guy right here who's like this soldier, and he goes out, he's fighting the war on drugs. And, you know, he's all gung-ho, you know, he's basically Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, Conan, everything put together, all in one. Well, what happens, he's going out there fighting, and then, you know, he ends up coming across these people. They hook him up with some weed. He ends up being all stoned. He becomes all peaceful and everything, as far as most of that is concerned. But then he eventually ends up going to war against the war on drugs. And, you know, here, look, you can see a little bit of all of that. Altogether, like, I don't know, this book wasn't worth $4.99. It was okay. It was silly, slapsticky, kind of, I don't know. Maybe I didn't smoke enough weed to read this one. If you haven't read The Secret History of the War on Weed, let me know down in the comments below if you would like me to send this to you. And if there's more of you, we'll just like pick somebody randomly, or maybe somebody that commented that I like more than everybody else, and I'll just send it to them. Yeah. Moving on into a book that is fucking great from Image Comics is Bolero issue number 4. This book is written by Wyatt Kennedy. It's got art by Luana Vecchio, and it is lettered by Brandon Graham. I will show you those names right there. You can take a look at the space. Right? This book is one of my favorite series out right now. I didn't think getting into issue 1 that I would ending up liking this series as much as I was. I picked it up, just kind of thinking like, we'll see how it is. And mostly because like, I didn't know, but it sounded like it was kind of a slice of life story. And I found out, you know, maybe I'm kind of a slice of life guy. And I read this book, issue number 1, I thought was great. I've been reading this so far. Getting through to issue 4 is absolutely fucking great. Now, I will say, to me, this book is kind of what this book does what so many other books just can't seem to do, or try to do, or maybe this is like what comics is all about when it comes to these kind of comics. There's a lot to be said these days about books that have characters with their sexuality and all these kinds of things in them, and largely we see that in a lot of comic books. But you know, the biggest deal is made is, you know, when you get one of those, when they do it in the books from the big 2, and you know, like you know, I seen I'm not sure if you guys follow what was it from Hawkworld, Tim Sale from Hawkworld over on Twitter, but he even put up this post the other day. He's like, you know, like I like when I'm sitting there reading a superhero book and they start talking about their sexuality, I just kind of tune out. He's like, I just, you know, like I don't really care about that in this book that I'm trying to read. And like, I get that. Because like a superhero book, like I don't care about that. Usually through context of things going on in the story, you know who loves who. You don't have to see him kissing. You don't have to see him in bed. You don't have to see him humping. You don't have to see him doing any of that. You really don't. Like, but you still get it. Like, you know, characters like the how they, you know, generally how they feel for each other. But we see a lot of stuff going on in the comic books these days. And look, I'm telling you, I don't have any problem with any of that stuff. But when I'm reading a superhero comic book, I want to see the superhero action and the drama that goes along with that. And sure, I mean, them protecting those they love and stuff has something to do with that as well. But at the same time, largely, like you're a superhero trying to protect the larger thing anyway, unless you're smaller. But that's just it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but there's places to do it where it actually works and is perfect. And that's things like this, where you get all of that in here. And this, like I said, this book has so many different things in it that it's fucking great. And it's just a great book. And there's nothing in here through all of that they're doing that is being preachy or telling you as a reader how to feel about anything. It's just basically like watching one of those sad rom-coms that you've probably seen out there. And it's really well written. The art in this book is absolutely great. I don't know what else I could say about this. It seems like a lot of the things that people would say is wrong with comic books these days. Largely when people say that, they're talking about the big two. Smart people know that. All those things can be put in a book and be fucking great. It's a lot of times it's stories like this that I really enjoy reading. In this one, we get some backstory on a character that we hadn't previously met a whole lot of, because it was funny through the first couple of issues. You thought that you were going to be getting all these different scenarios where it turns out you didn't get very many, but you're starting to learn different perspectives are at play here. And issue number 4 is definitely one of I don't know, I think it's definitely one of the better issues in this series so far. It's got one more issue before it wraps up, but let me know down in the comments below if you have read Bolero and what you think about it. All right, we've got one more book here on Image Comics as well. And this is issue number 29 of Ice Cream Man. This series right here is absolutely great. One of my favorite series going on out there right now as well. Now, I will say about this series, it seems like it's kind of lost that. It seems like it's lost kind of a little bit of that edge like it's had for the longest time, where it gave me the willies and just made me feel weird altogether. Like times I'd get done with reading an issue and I'd be like, yeah. And it's been a while since we've had that. And there's not a lack of quality in the writing or the art or anything in this book. It's just some of that hard hitting stuff that they had in there just isn't there right now. I have a feeling some of that might be coming back, because one of the things I've said about this series written by W. Maxwell Prince is that I used to think that it was a book that was just like you can read like essentially like a one shot. You could read the one issue and not need the context of the rest. There's not a larger story going on here. And largely, for the most part, you can read all of these and have them kind of be one shot issues and not really need to know a whole lot. But when you go back and you get the full scope, the full story of everything that was going on throughout this series, you get a lot of callbacks, a lot of references, things you see later, future, past, things like sprinkled throughout this series is absolutely great. Like maybe this is W. Maxwell Prince actually in this book right there. Is that him in the coffin? I don't know. But this series has been absolutely great. One of my favorite series out there. Like I said, right now, for sure. And like I said, it's just kind of lost. It's lost a little bit, like we're kind of like you're on a roller coaster ride. And you're just kind of in that lull, and maybe you're making a climb to go back uphill. But altogether, I would say no matter what, Ice Cream Man is definitely a recommend read if you want a good kind of creepy horror book. And let me know what you think about Ice Cream Man down in the comments below. And I just remembered, I forgot to credit Martin Morazzo, Chris O'Halloran, and good old Neon. I forgot to credit them here for the work that they do here on Ice Cream Man. And one of the things they do here is, see right here, They got this headline. They usually ask a question. You can email them there. Your answer. It says, "What are you leaving behind?" Is the kind of the thing. And sometimes that's one of the things they do is like I said, this one's like, it's kind of got that creep factor there because you're seeing this guy who died. He had a heart attack, and he was talking about this. It felt like there was this like just going through some sensations, and then basically his friend ended up inheriting this gift. Very good stuff. Very great stuff, man. Like I said, it just doesn't have that hard-hitting edge like it used to, but still, some very good stuff coming out of Ice Cream Man. Again, let me know down in the comments below if you've read Ice Cream Man and what you think about it, man. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great.